I'm Dr. David Prescott, and I want to thank you for taking a minute to watch Mental Health Matters. I want to talk a little bit about eating disorders and 3 types of eating disorders which require professional treatment in most cases to get better. The 3 I want to talk about are anorexia nervosa, bulimia nervosa, and binge eating disorder. Anorexia involves a person having an intense fear of becoming fat and restricting their food intake and losing weight to the point where it becomes physiologically dangerous. Often people with severe anorexia experience weakness and fatigue. If the food restriction persists over several months, people deplete their body of necessary nutrients and minerals to the point where they become sick a lot of the time or feel weak much of each day. A second type of eating disorder is bulimia. Typically in bulimia, people will often eat a large amount of food, which we call an eating binge, followed by some way to try to rid the body of the food, either by vomiting or using excessive laxatives. In some cases, excessive exercise is used as a way to compensate for a binge eating episode. The third type of eating disorder we see is a binge eating episode without trying to rid the body of the excess food by vomiting or using laxatives. People with eating disorders often struggle with issues of control around food. Sometimes we find in their families that their food intake was rigidly controlled and they may be reacting against that. People with eating disorders sometimes have a distorted body image to where their own perception of how their body looks is extraordinarily inaccurate. We also think that cultural factors play into eating disorders. Our society is full of messages about food, appearance, body image, and weight. Sometimes these messages get inside of ourselves in ways that are not healthy and lead us to treat our bodies in ways that are ultimately destructive. If these patterns persist for several weeks or longer, typically they require treatment in order to get better. Treatment for anorexia usually involves a team of providers, including a physician, sometimes a dietitian, and a counselor. Treatment for bulimia may involve that many people or may be focused strictly more on counseling. In all of these cases, it's important to try to work with a person's attitudes about what eating means in their own body image. It's important to reestablish regular eating in order to give the body nutrition to carry on functions of everyday life. And it's important to line up ongoing support, since most people typically feel challenged with eating for many months or throughout the rest of their life, particularly at times of high stress. Eating disorders are most common in women and most often start to occur in the early teenage years through early 20s. If you or someone you know has an eating disorder or you think you may, please talk to your doctor or mental health professional and find out if treatment might help.